What do you think determines if a knife sells well or not? Steel choice, weight, balance, feel, design of the handle, the guard, sheath, quality, kind of this stuff I talk about in tabletop form, right? All that is definitely important, but I think probably the most determining factor is how the knife looks. Let's be honest. If it looks cool, it's going to connect to guys and it's probably going to sell well. Welcome to the old school Nutnfancy tabletop review on just such a blade, the SOG Tsunami. It's kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum of the Field Pup, which review I just got done with a few minutes ago. I talked about in that review what a serviceable, highly useful knife that is in all types of POUs, but it doesn't look that attractive. Do I have one on the table? I do. That's what I'm talking about. It's kind of goofy looking to some people, the Field Pup, but when you use it, you'll fall in love with it. It's so lightweight, serviceable, all the stuff I just said in the other review. Steel is, could be a lot better. Hope they go back to AUS 8 or maybe 8CR. The Tsunami has none of those problems. That is a sick looking fighting blade. And that kicks us right into philosophy of use. That is primarily what this knife is designed for, as a penetration blade. Look at that tip. I mean, seriously. Hey, Nutton, I thought you didn't do Tanto reviews. I do once in a while. It depends if it connects to me, and the Tsunami definitely does it for me. It is a cool blade, and it is capable in both first and second kind of cool. First kind of cool is, you know, capability and roll. I think this thing could go through all types of materials, body armor included. Maybe not a knife vest. Maybe it could. I didn't test it. You know, but this thing is a penetrator. Goes through all types of materials. I want to show you some cold steel options, talk about some other ones. There's all kinds of knives that will do the same type of cutting performance, but primarily a tactical blade. I think it's a good soldier option. I've been talking about that since 2008 here in the Nutnfancy project, recommending to my soldier buddies serving in harm's way some good LBE knives. For them to meet that qualification, I'm talking the blades, they've got to be lightweight. We'll talk about that here in a second. I think mostly those soldiers are going to be using them as utility knives. I think the Tsunami, going into the next POU, will serve in that role as well. It could be a camp knife for you guys. Not ideal, because it just doesn't have a ton of belly on it. Not so much. But you could use it as a lightweight, I don't know, woods blade. I could think of 1,000 other knives I'd rather take up there with me, but it is lightweight and it has a relatively long blade to it, 6.5 inches, I think. That's pretty good. Collectible, definitely. Will they continue to produce the Tsunami? Don't know. It's essentially a Northwest Ranger, which I raved about in a review a couple months ago, with a different blade on it. That's a Tsunami. And when we look at the handle, it's a Ranger handle for all intents and purposes. And that takes us to weight, balance, and feel. Like most SOG blades, outstanding. I'm talking the balance and feel to it. Really excellent. The knife itself is only 6.8 ounces. That's all it weighs. That's extremely lightweight. And the sheath, which we'll talk about, 4.8 ounces. Total package, 11.6. Competitive weight, if you ask me, when we look at other knives in its same category. You can go with some cold steel options that have better reach, which if you're talking about a tactical POU might be important to you if you are thinking about putting in there. I hope you never have to, like I've said for eons. But the weight is excellent. Blade design. Tanto, as you can see, we talked about that. It's hollow ground. This one is black titanium nitride coated. That would be my favorite. They also have the satin version, and that is catalog number TS-01. This is TS-02. The SOG Tsunami. The Katana slasher. Doesn't that just remind you of a katana? It totally does. It's like a little hand katana, this sucker is. Steel, thankfully, is AUS 8. Buy it now before, I don't know, SOG decides to make it in China and change the steel on you. Seen that happen, haven't we? Oh gosh, I hope that doesn't happen more. I'll say it's a great steel, good rust resistance, easy enough to sharpen. It comes wicked, offensively sharp. There's that Nutnfancy term again, out of box. Love it. By the way, that black TiNi coating that SOG uses is durable. Using my SOG mini Aegises and full-size Aegis and other blades that have it, it wears pretty good. It's awesome. Look at that jimping on there. It's just like the SOG Northwest Ranger. It was just perfection. There's no thumb ramp. It's a straight, run of jimping, but man, it digs in tight. Man, the blade I actually like on this. It has a delicate tip, and you're just going to have to, I don't know, deal with that. The cold steel tanto, whatever, I just say tanto in this review, are going to be stronger tip because this is a more gradual geometry. You could make the argument that this is going to kind of cut better because you're going to get an accelerated cut with that more gradual angle on that tip. True that, I believe it, but we always make a compromise, and the compromise here is if you drop it on concrete, try to pry with it, that tip is done. Some knives I think work well with a more precise tip, and this could actually have some more useful functions too for digging stuff out, maybe food preparation too. The steel, again, excellent, love it. That's about all I'll say on that. The handle, I'm ripping through these reviews, man, at least today I am. Handle is SOG Northwest Ranger, baby. I talked about that. The only criticism I leveled then, and I'll say it again now, is I wish it was about a ½ inch longer. It's a little bit short for me. I mean, I have enough room, but I would like just a little bit more room on the Tsunami. There's your lanyard attachment hole. Big enough we don't have to thin out the 550 cord or whatever your lanyard material is. Rounded, and I think that's a full tang knife. Let's test it. What do you say? I have a new way I came up with to test it, at least on these Kraton handles. Check this. Go right about here. Little surgery. I should hit metal right about here. Yep, I do. It's metal to that point. Let's go a little bit deeper. Right about here, metal. Totally. I can't put it any deeper in. So I would say full tang. How about on the back side of the lanyard hole? That would be like extra credit, don't you think? Oh, totally is. Running into metal there too, dudes. Awesome. Full tang knife. Man, SOG makes some good knives, especially for good prices. Usually, not always. Kraton handle, like we said, rounded, comfortable, ergonomic, forward, reverse grips, all that stuff. Is it too rubbery? No, not so much. Kraton, as SOG puts it together, is just about right. I just said that in the Field Pup review as well. A little bit of a guard on the bottom, just like the SOG Northwest Ranger. I think that's appropriate, and again, getting back to the tactical philosophy of use, maybe that helps. Taiwanese produced blade, OS 8. If it goes to China again, maybe it goes to those other steels. Onto the sheath. Not super light, guys, at 4.8 ounces. I still like it though. In fact, I'll say I like. I was going to say love. I don't love the sheath. Here comes the bad part. It's got a stupid retention loop on it. Man, in 2008, I was railing on some other manufacturers that did this. They ended up changing the design. Why do we have that retention loop there? That is so bad. There's a lot of reasons it's bad. One, if it gets debris, weeds, seeds, snow on it, it won't retain at all, i.e. the Velcro won't close. 2, the Velcro wears out. And 3, and probably most importantly, it really doesn't attach that firmly. I mean, we didn't have that problem with this sheath, right? SOG Field Pup 1. I mean, they got a great retention loop on there, and it's got the snap on it, and Velcro. So that's a great sheath. Great sheath. I mean, I'm not sure where they went wrong there. I'll leave it at that. Other than that, it's the same sheath as we've seen in these other SOG models. It's perfect. It's got the nice MOLLED strap on the back. You can run it conventionally on the belt. It's sewn to perfection. Good quality nylon webbing. Riveted for integration of 550 tie down into LBE or any other attachment. Maybe you want it on the exterior of a kit or something. Has a pocket for your sharpening stone, multi-tool. Whistle, small knife. I never use those, like I've said before. Has a really stiff plastic liner in it. I mean, this is a quality sheath, and that adds to the weight, to be honest. See that? Probably a Kydex liner in there. Does it retain the knife without the strap? That is a great question. Yeah, it does. So it's not like some of those Ontario, what is it, Spec Plus Gen 2 knives that they shake out. It doesn't have that. I don't know if I'd wear this inverted on LBE. One, it's going to be a long knife. Longer knives, unless they really offer me something, I'm a little bit more reluctant to put them on the LBE. Or I would be. You know, I don't know. Your mileage may vary. Otherwise, the sheath is excellent. On we go to quality. I can't say anything bad about it. It's other than that sheath retention strap. The quality levels on all SOG knives are pretty much smoking. Fit and finish, the edge out of box, if I didn't already mention it, is, I did, offensively sharp. I remember saying that. The quality, we'll leave it at that. Phenomenal as always. Competitive options. Man, we haven't seen this knife forever in front of the TMP camera. It's still part of my personal collection. Here it comes, a Boker Desert Dagger. It's a double-edged knife, so maybe it's not the best comparison, but I don't mind going slightly out of category for competitive offerings. To me, it's interesting. This is a 440C blade, a little bit heavier. It's weighted in the handle for balance, 12.6 ounces, at the time $100. It's a good-looking blade, don't you think? This one was resharpened by Zach Wood for me. Wicked sharpening job. We had to back that relief edge up like a lot because it's such a steep approach that you just couldn't get a good edge out of it. Which would you prefer between these two? I don't know. They're both kind of the same philosophy of use, right? Dedicated fighters. You can make a good argument that you know, a double-edged blade might present just as much hazard to its user as it would the bad guy. I get it. Here comes another one. Blast from the past here in TMP. Cold Steel OSS. Duracoated in whatever color that is. I forget. I did this Duracoat job. I think I rolled it in front of the camera way back when too. This is still such a wicked knife. This one really sticks in that sheath hard. This is 12.4 ounces. A little bit heavier. 420 steel in this. I think, what are they making it out of on the more affordable version? 416 Krupp. Something like that. $62 this was. And over here I have a Sanmai 3. This is a similar knife. Peacekeeper 1. Oh, dude. Look at that. I raved about the Peacekeeper series, both the 1 and the 2. Wicked soldier knives. And I said I usually wouldn't go with a really long defensive knife unless it's super lightweight. This is lightweight. So is the OSS. This is, again, 12.4 ounces. This Sanmai 3 one is 11.4. So it's almost exactly the same weight as a Tsunami. How about reach-wise? What we got? Well, a little bit more reach with the Peacekeeper one. A little bit. Not much, though. That Tsunami's got some reach to it, dude. Relatively speaking, for its weight. What else I got on the table? Oh, I was looking for the TMP. We've got a Cold Steel Recon Tanto. It's 12.6 ounces. OS 8 steel, thankfully. It's a lot thicker blade. Honestly, a lot tougher blade. Because of that, it has a more abrupt tip geometry, around, I think, $74 for that version. That's a good competitive offering against the SOG Tsunami. I'm not so sure it's as sexy, though. That Tsunami's just a good looking knife. Here comes a weird comparison. I love this one. How about a Buck Nighthawk 5150? 12 ounces, 420 HC steel. I'm laughing because it's such a out of category seemingly comparison. It's about the same weight though, and the reason I'm rolling it in is because I think of the Buck Nighthawk blade as being so elegant and sweeping. It is a clip blade, but it has such penetration capability. Totally. And 420 HC, if anybody can do it right, that's Buck. Not too impressive of a sheath with that, but at least Buck got it right. On this $50 knife, they got a snap and it's blackened. Come on, SOG. Let's get with the program. I think that's about all I'm going to show you there. Competitive offerings. Value on this one, I would say excellent. $60. Look in the upper right, that's my recommended retail source for the SOG Tsunami. Two kinds of cool? Absolutely. I think it's mostly about the second kind of cool for guys. It's an attractive blade. It would look good in a knife presentation case, and it's just something we like to hold and handle. It's kind of like a hand katana. First type of cool, if you ever had to use it, hope you don't. I think it would rock and roll. High points on this blade are its looks. It's handsome, awesome jimping, great Kraton handle that's comfortable. Wish it was a little bit longer. Great lanyard hole. It has a bottom guard, wicked sharp out of box. It's hollow ground. Very gradual tip geometry is going to make it a great pierce cutter. Be careful not to snap that tip off. And a pretty great sheath. Maybe someday they'll do this to it. Forgot to show you this one. This is my old SOG government agent in a Kydex. Look at that. That's a great comparison. No longer made. So sad. That's an excellent sheath. I wish this sheath came with that knife, actually. This one was Durga coated by me. Check it. That's what you can do with this, maybe. There you go. That's my review. SOG Tsunami. It rocks. Out.